Hi, I'm David. I'm a co-founder of PinAI.
Hi, I'm Bill, also one of the co-founder and chief scientist of PinAI.
Yeah, so PinAI is like the open platform for personal AI. So we are really focused on personal AI use cases. So this would be like a personal AI assistant that sits on your own device, so you can think your phone. But then this is like very reminiscent of like what Apple is trying to do with Apple Intelligence. But basically, our angle is that in order like to build like useful personal AI in the future, like no single company can do that, because you need a lot of contextual data from all your other activity interacting with all other Web 2 services. So like we believe that that's basically like close to impossible to do for a single company that is regulated mainly in one jurisdiction. The fact that we can program native incentives in the protocol and we can attract multiple builders, kind of help us build this huge platform. That's where we believe that the potential is, and kind of that's where we're going with PIN.
Would you be able to walk us a little bit through the ideation that led up to PinAI?
Maybe I can start a little bit. So I was actually doing AI startup since early 2023, and in the earliest days, like Ben and I talking about this concept of like Web3 GPT, we were just trying to say, okay, we build an AI for Web3 that is more like kind of the part of PinAI now also like control the DeFi and control all the like crypto, I say exchange API key and all that, use natural language to construct it. And then in the middle, we decided, okay, it seems like just let AI control crypto is like a very narrow space. And the natural thing to do is let AI to do like actual like entire trading, very kind of competitive field, right? You come to trading wanting to be profitable. And it basically is a place where you want to learn from the best human beings and like serve them. We run into so many problems about like say, oh, there are companies like Bloomberg and there are companies that it's impossible to get any data from them. You bag them so hard and you get this legal contract 100 like pages long. You cannot like share your data with anyone. In the meantime, when you build a product, you find you really need human attention to actually use your product. Like let's say we built something very similar to Perplexity, but Perplexity have the luxury of the early days. They catch on the wave and grow very fast. It's kind of like impossible to break the barrier and let people actually use you. So with like the investing thing, I decided, okay, let me have organic growth among like the group of like Wall Street investors and analysts. So I was thinking, okay, how do I actually amplify all the things we learned from this? So first, we need to move away from enterprise data. And if you look at the entire world of data, OpenAI has unlocked all the Web 1 data that is relatively public. And OpenAI arguably is doing all the scraping and like all the cleaning of all the entire like internet. Almost it's like one of the shiny inheritance of entire human civilization, right? It's like open internet. But then I think human civilization take an unexpected turn. Okay, maybe expected turn with mobile app that it becomes all the like segregated mobile apps. There's probably like 10,000 or more mobile apps. And all these apps gather their data very dearly, right? Like WeChat is not even having an API for you to talk to it. Although in reality, it looks like Facebook owns all this piece of data, Telegram owns all that. It's like there is a gap between what the law says and what reality is, that who owns engineering power. And I think Web3 is actually a great way to unlock that gap and actually give people the true ownership that they are promised by things like GDPR, so that users say, okay, I want to put all my data together from my Facebook, my Telegram, my Tinder, all like my TikTok watching history, and put it together to build my own personal index, just like how Google build a website index for every single website. I think there can be a protocol that build personal index for every single human being.
Maybe I can add the kind of like the second part of the story, which is kind of more focused on like the Web3 and like a blockchain angle. I've been working as a protocol researcher on like the Ethereum protocol for the past few years, kind of really deep in the Ethereum ecosystem, which is like arguably the most advanced ecosystem. Recently reached like a big milestone where like we have scalability and kind of subcents payments for like these layer 2's blockchains. That's actually where me and Bill met, and like our first conversation were kind of like really focused on this. He has this vision of like from the AI angle, like seeing all these limits. You need two things. Like one is trust, and the other one is like some sort of ways to like basically different AIs to like transfer value. It was clear that this angle of like personal AI with like incentivized data store, where like for that, in terms of like privacy and decentralization, like blockchain also have a lot of infrastructure to offer, was kind of like the right combination of like technology. Almost feels magical that like these two fields are coming together now.
How do you think your company is differentiated with your other competitors?
We honestly didn't see much competitors in the space of personal AI. I was just talking to Paul, like walking in here. I think there is a new space of personal AI that is arguably being thought about as a personal assistant, even like 5 years ago and all that. But I think it's only become truly possible this year with all the technology. Like there are smart enough large language models that can run with very small, less than 10 billion parameter size, and it's relatively good at doing things like function call and like RAG.
So Davide, you did some very interesting research and you also worked in dynamic pricing. So how has that background kind of led to your work now at Penn?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah, so as I said, I've been working like on the Ethereum protocol for a few years, but before that, I had a career at in big tech, and that's actually where I saw all the problems that motivated me to like basically enter the blockchain space, and like really gave me conviction that like although this is like a very new nascent technology, like we are still like building like some key components that we need to be able to like really give like great user experience to like billions of users worldwide. My experience was like almost in a monopoly, so I was working at Lyft for almost 6 years. So basically started in like 2015-16 and then went through the entire kind of hyperscale growth phase, and yeah, basically that market was a duopoly. It was just like Lyft and Uber in the US. Then like basically all the attention and the incentives shift to like deliver value to shareholder, right? My experience there like helped me see that already for like these Web2 platforms that we use for some very specific service, there is like so much potential harm you can do and like value you can extract from users. The value is much bigger, and also the potential harm is like way, way bigger.
There's a lot of stigma around crypto, and I was wondering if you could talk about those challenges and experiences that you guys have had.
What I would say is that the stigma is there right now, but like this extreme environment of innovation and like capitalism is actually unforgiving. There is very few projects that are able to like really deliver value, and those are the ones that grow.
You guys, I'm guessing, then have not a traditional corporate hierarchy in your company at all. Then it's very decentralized, and that you're bringing in open source developers to maybe engage with this project that you're working on.
Tell us a little bit more about your team dynamic. Like, what do you all bring to the table?
Our team is very flat, which is kind of easy to do at the beginning, like us. Because we have around like 10 full-time team members, and then 10 to 20 like core contributors, collaborators of various sorts. So it's still very early. I'm leading more kind of the protocol design. Bill is more on AI side. I'll let him discuss more. And then Ben is curating more of all the other things related to like the strategy of the project, like operations, engaging like with different partners.
Yeah, so from my angle, I'm trying to truly do the thing that, so in AI specifically, it's super hard to actually hire people full-time in to work with you, and normally you sacrifice and not work with top-tier people. Think for like a Web3 AI project, try to avoid that and actually work with the best people that are just like come work with us for the intellectual challenge. And With this way, we were able to attract people that are super strong. Like say Tim Shi, he is a good friend of mine from long time. We co-founded AI Plus Club together, and also we're also the earliest people to set up this idea of like AGI house. And he dropped out of Ph.D. 2017, and they built a company over the last 7 years called Crapis. They have trained very big models. They have very good technical background and also good vision. And they are attracted to work with us because of the vision.
Congrats on being backed by a16z. Tell us more about like the application process and just some of the challenges you faced. Maybe some advice you can give to people thinking about applying.
So our seed round was led by a16z Crypto and HackVC. With a16z, actually, like now they have this new program called like the Crypto Accelerator. They're trying to replicate a little bit what YC does. With these two investors specifically, I already knew one of the founding partner of like HackVC, and I also know like some a16z Crypto team members. I remember like with Eddie Lazarin, who's like the CTO of a16z Crypto. Like we were like last year at one of the main conferences discussing like first like some very concrete problem that like people start working on, and then some of his investments. And I didn't know that like maybe 10 months later they would be like just investing in us.
What do you think attracted them to you guys and your company? Were there any particular qualities or perhaps like the vision of PIN that they liked?
Yeah, so at this stage I would say that like one, the fact that the founding team is like strong, and like we are also like it's a cohesive team. So like basically like when you talk to investor, they kind of try to probe this because like the core team is like one of the most important things in a project. And then second one, like I think we were able to kind of articulate the vision and kind of like basically convince them that like we have the capabilities to execute against this. I would say these are the two most important things.
I'm wondering if you guys have done any failed pitches and your experiences for that.
Yeah, for me, it's probably, through my whole startup life, it's been a lot of failed pitches. Yeah, I think, but specifically for Ping, actually, I was pretty surprised the win rate of our pitches, like probably more like close to half, which is not even reasonable, right? But typically, as a founder, my prior of like the successful pitch rate should be around 5% of comparing to how many meetings you enter and how many meetings that they want to put money in. So I guess it's like pretty magical. It's probably also like both the whole world want this, plus I guess a clear momentum, plus a team, plus the execution. I guess kind of an interesting experience. Of course, with Ping, I guess we have like a few pitches and all that, and they teach us about like what are the things that we haven't fully thought through, and why there are places that our thinking logic is weak, and then it helps us basically iterate on like our whole both the work we want to do and which part should come first.
The way to think about like what we're starting to build right now, it's like something that maybe it will take even 10 years to like fully build up, right? And like basically we will start delivering utility from day one, where people can actually like interact with the system and the AI, and like start doing like at the beginning like smaller tasks, and then this will grow bigger and bigger. But definitely like what will happen is probably something very similar to what happened to Ethereum, that every time like a new application comes or like the capability gets expanded, then you hit some blockers that you need to do like some technological innovation to overcome. So we are really motivated. We are really convinced that like the project we are building is kind of like important for everyone, and so like kind of we're prepared to like start running this marathon and really being at the forefront.
We're truly trying to like learn from Ethereum Foundation and operate in a way like that we can almost become like the new Ethereum platform for all the like personal AI projects.
Great. Well, this has been a great chat. I think Paul, Koma, and I have learned so much from this conversation. Best of luck in New York, and then Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.